Okay, so I managed to make the shader now to work on terrain. So I have here my terrain, and for the snow, I had the problem that whenever I was adding snow, it was actually drawing even the holes. Like over here, I have a hole, which is for an underground thing that I have. As you see over here, these points over here is just my terrain. And whenever I was drawing, this was becoming snowy. So I managed to make the shader now to not draw the holes, to detect the holes. And the results of it's something like this. Now, this is looking cool now, but there is a trick. It's not the same terrain. What I have over here is this terrain made a copy of it, not duplicating, because if you go and duplicate, it will use on terrain. If you go over here on my left, and you see this terrain over here, if you duplicate it, it will use the same data. So even if you duplicate the terrain, it will use the same data. So what you need to do is to click on this one, and let me go on my project somewhere. You find the terrain data, which is this one, and you duplicate this one, okay? And when you duplicate this one, you drag it in the project like so, and then you'll have another terrain with other type of data, okay? But the other terrain, you have to disable things like the one with the snow, things like shadow, which you don't need, besides shadow. Let me see if it's this one. Not this one. This is the main terrain. This is the snow one. I'm gonna just click on this and to make a difference. So this is the snow. Let's check it before. Terrain snow coverage. And if I click on terrain snow and I disable it, yeah, this one is. So we go in the terrain over here. There is an notification here, but it's not very important. So cast shadow to size, no, we don't need. What else we don't need? Oh yeah, draw instanced is not gonna work, not even if you have other terrains that draw instanced. So this is a disadvantage if you have, but you know. What else we don't need from this now? Let's see, we don't really need oh, all this distance. Actually, we don't need trees on the snow unless you want to use the trees on the snow, but you will have it on the main one, on the main terrain. So it's not going to be a problem terrain over terrain. Um, the texture has to stay the same like the main terrain, and pretty much that is. One thing to notice is that the distance from the first one with the second, I mean, the snow one over here is looking good, but what I've done, put on the position over here, 0.04. This is just because on some points it's creating, let me see if I can find one of those. I think it was doing it somewhere here. It's creating a pixel problem. Yeah, look, like over there. See? From nearby not, but from far away it's creating that type of flickering thing. So the best is just to leverage a little bit more up, you know. Now we play over here with the coverage. It's working the same thing like before. You put the snow texture over here, the normal of the snow texture, tiling. You have even the vectors in case like I have the mountain over here and let's say make not even full coverage, but anyway, and I don't want the mountains to be all covered over here like the vertical thing. can actually decrease this a little bit and you'll have less snow on the mountain. Okay. Or you can actually play with the left and right, depends how you want, this is on your own. The detectable texture, it will still work. Like, for example, if you use footstep and it will detect that this is a grass texture and it has to make a noise, and this one is another texture. On the snow one, it will detect it, but you have to have the same layer. So if I go on the snow terrain, you have to leave the layers from the original data. You don't have to remove them, because if you remove the footstep, it will not detect the texture under. So even if it's snow, only snow coverage, it will still detect those textures. So that's a good thing. Um, Basically, you just have two terrains, one on the top of each other. I mean, there's no on top of this one. It doesn't have anymore that gap distance that I was having the problem with the plane mesh plane, which is still a cool thing to have it in your project if you have it over there. The blanket thing, I saw someone, he actually made a blanket shader on the Unity store, which is going for the grass and things, and it's much more evolved with more stuff. If you want to search it, it's a very cool tool. Someone told me about it, but I didn't knew it. If I knew it before, I was actually probably starting from that point. Um, so yeah, in case you need now this effect of snow over here, someone told me that is more like a water effect. Yeah, depends how much you play with the snow coverage over here. Because if I go even more, I put just a slider on go on 5, but I can go even more. Can be not only water, can be many things. Uh, anyway, I like this because it's the same, let's say, dissolving snow effect like in Cozy Weather, which is an asset from Unity Store. It's very good, well done asset, and I like it that. So I replicated that type of noise. Um, and This is the trick. If you like it, hey, I'm gonna put um upload on in the description of this video. So you have to create another material. Then after you create another material, you go on this terrain, on the duplicated terrain, and you apply the material. Like this is a terrain. URP is no material. This one is got just a basic URP material, the one with the texture. And once you apply the second material on the second terrain, on duplicated, you go on the material, just search for my shader, which is Foco and Snow over terrain, and then you play with whatever you have over there. I remember again that if on the main terrain you are using draw instanced, it will not work. For that, I will have to actually search a little bit more on shaders and things. What are the problems? Because my shader already it's having like many things now to calculate over here. It's not a big shader, big thing, but I'm not an expert, so I took it more from trying left and right until I found the solution. Yeah, pretty much that's all.